Hello, everybody. My name is Joel, and today I'm going to speak with you about SMB fuzzing. So, some folks come around and ask me, why do we need to fuzz the SMB? Like, what do we care? We are not Microsoft, we are not Samba. If there are bugs over there in the SMB protocol or in the module, it's not our problem; it's their problem. So, first thing, those claims are actually false because if you have a bug on your server or on the product on the server hosting your product, then that's your fault, right? And if you have an issue with SMB, that's something you can definitely check, by doing an extensive fuzzing, and so you can prevent the next WannaCry or Eternal Blue vulnerability to occur on your server. So at the end, even though we deploy a server that belongs to another company, like we bought the hardware, we bought the software from another company, it's still our full responsibility as cyber professionals. So we're going to start in by clicking on the new project over here. We're going to call it SMB Fuzzing, and we're going to click on Next. Next step, we need to find the SMB module within the list of beSTORM. So quick heads up, there is the ability to just type the letter S and then go over all the functionalities and all the modules until you find the SMB client, or you could have also find it under network client, TCP client, and so on. So you can see here that belongs to the TCP client. On this very moment, you can also have a glance on all the modules and protocols that we offer. We have 260 predefined modules within beSTORM. So now we're going to type in the IP of our DUT, our server that's going to be fuzzed using the SMB fuzzing with beSTORM. So 192.168.86.39. Let's just verify that's the correct IP. So there we go. I'm going to click on next. Now you can see here the environment variables. So of course, we already updated the information over here. The host name would be the IP we have provided, the port 445 for SMB. If you have decided to do your, your communication or your network protocol in a different port, so of course you can click on it and change it. You can also click on the IP and change it, and even change it so SMB use TCP and UDP. You can make that change as well. We're going to click on next. Now we're going to choose the monitor type. So we're going to use ICMP echo today, and we're going to use TCP echo. And we're going to click on next. And click on auto start, and then we're going to click on finish. Now you can see the module over here. We can go into the module browser. We cover about 63 million combinations. So those are unique buffer, unique input we're going to fuzz, unique buffers, and so on. You can go in here and look into the sender data, the parameter, and you can see it goes inside to the SMB length, for example, that we will fuzz the net bias session services. If we keep on going, we can also change the data that we fuzz, the header, for example, the header request, over here we're going to send to the server component. You can see its position is 0 out of 8, meaning that that's the first component that we're going to test. And you can see the buffer prefixes and so on, default values, repeated A's that we're going to send, repeated %n, and so on. And so I can change, for example, if I want to change the priority, I can change the priority on each and every module, each and every part of the module. And I can also remove that to default or edit and so on. So I can edit the buffer type. And now we're going to go ahead and click on start. Fuzzing will begin. As you can see, fuzzing takes a long time. So to fuzz SMB completely, that would take me about 8 days. Today we brought in a server that is a pretty weak one, and in the purpose of showing you the outcome of fuzzing, so how fuzzing looks like, and what is the information you get when the vulnerability is actually being found. So we're going to let it run for a short while. And there you go. We caught an exception. So there was no response for ICMP echo, so the monitor we tried. And now you can see that we can pause the test and you can see what caused that exception. So what caused that exception was a sending of repeated F and E. So you can see it over here. You have the preview, you can see the module tree. So what parts we already covered, what parts we managed to perform and to fuzz and so on. And then you can also export that into a script, into a Python script. So I'm gonna click on export. We have a beSTORM exported SNMP. You're gonna save it on our desktop. And now we're gonna look into the report. So I can use that script later to retest, the vulnerability I found. So normally you would not be testing SNMP for about 1 minute, and have an old server. You would have a stronger server. You would have a server that can, is about to be sent for deployment or in the verification step. So you're about to release that server or that device, and so your fuzzing will take longer. And of course, you don't want to wait only for one vulnerability and let it be get done with. So what you would be doing is writing a script for the monitoring from bringing up the device, something like a watchdog. And then you would also be looking to configure the settings, the behavioral settings, we call them. So you will be configuring like an email to be sent to you whenever there's a vulnerability found, or whenever there is the test that ended, etc. So you don't have to sit there and wait for 8 days looking at the screen and waiting for the fuzzing to complete. You can just go ahead and configure the behavioral settings. So you will be notified for each and every exception. You will be notified for each and every failure of the test, and you will be notified when the test ended and when you can take a bulk of the vulnerabilities that we found and retest them by using the scripts that we export. So now we're going to look into the reports. So I'm going to click on report and I'm going to click on generate report. A report can be generated in PDF, CSV, and HTML. So I'm going to go ahead with the PDF version. Now that the report is done, I'm going to view it. So basically what I'm saying here is the beSTORM version I currently have, the amount of threads I used, the project name, and so the DUT, what I have tested, 1.39. And so I can see the module details, like what is the scale type. For example, I used base 2 plus minus 1, but I could have done also a serial fuzzing, which is more extensive and takes longer. Or I could have done a base 10, which is more limited in the amount of buffers we test, but on the other end, it is pretty fast, and so can give you results much quicker. We keep on going further. We will see like the environment variables, all the things that we have configured, the default attack types we have configured, so those could be changed as well. And then we're going to see the exception that were caught. So you can see here the double Fs, as you can see here in the SMB. So the details about the exception, the vector we used for the attack, and then how we can regenerate the attack. So we can regenerate the attack in a Perl script. You can see it's a pretty long one. Below that attack, those endless amount of FFs we sent or dots we sent. You can see a little bit more information about the things we've tested. So how many combinations we have covered, which parts of the modules we have tested, and so on. And now we can go ahead on our desktop to have a view at the exported data. So the exported beSTORM protocol. So let's go ahead. That's my beSTORM exported for SNMP. That's a Python script. I can run it and make sure that the DUT will be crashed again. So basically having a successful attack and successful recreation of the attack. And then I can see here a script in Python. That's the script I was about to run. And you can see here like if print, if command equals send, so print that format. And you can see here all sorts of things that we are testing. And with that script, I can actually recreate the attack, make sure that I'm going to send that to my DOT and verify that there is an issue with my SMB, there is an issue of a 0-day vulnerability, and I need to take care of it. If, of course, once I've fixed that vulnerability, I can also retest it with beSTORM and read the script itself and verify that there are no issues, and I can basically deliver my product in a good condition to my customers. So thank you all for listening. I was Joel, and you can find us at support@beyondsecurity.com or on our customer support website. So we have like a customer portal called beyondsecurity.freshdesk.com, and then you can also email me personally at joels@beyondsecurity.com. Thank you all.